Recording in progress.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ben and Nate's Questions That We Ask Massage Therapists on the Internet. I am one half of your host, and I am honored to be in the presence of my colleague, Ben Stone, who he'll introduce himself in a minute. But I'm a licensed massage therapist up here in the fine area of the country, New England. And when I'm not in my practice, I am traveling the globe teaching myoskeletal alignment techniques. Take it away, Ben.
And greetings, everyone. Allow myself to introduce myself. It's a reference from The Simpsons right there. I'm Ben Stone, 20 years massage therapist, a year and a half into podcasting with my friend Nate Fay. We're having a great time doing this. We do this show called Ben and Nate's Questions We Ask Massage Therapists on the Internet. Tell them how it works real quick, Nate.
It's awesome, man. One day, Ben and I got together. He said, I ask questions on the internet. You ask questions on the internet. And we got together and asked questions on the internet together. And this show happens because of you guys. We pose these questions every week. We want you to answer them. And that we take our favorite answers. And Ben and I put together a very improvised discussion around these topics.
You may learn something. You may be entertained. But if anything else, you're going to spend some time with us, and it's going to be fun.
And by the way, Ben, I want you to know, so we just put up episode 38 on Spotify, and I get these statistics from Spotify. And one of our last episodes talked about our most listened to podcast, which I think was memberships and being a male in this industry. Well, I have a new statistic, and it was our last episode that we just put up already had 46 plays, beating out the other two, which were
what
tied.
Was that? What did we talk about last time? Refresh my memories.
I knew you were going to put me on the spot, and my old man brain is not functioning very well today for a plethora of reasons. So we're just going to say it was episode 38.
Was it about accomplishments?
It was about accomplishments. Yeah, it was about
one. Yeah. Well, and I still like that statistic you brought up a while back. We're big in Peru.
We're big in Peru, but yeah. Listen, we're growing in America.
That's right.
So here we are. Hey, before we get into it tonight, man, we're just coming off a happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dad massage therapists out there that are listening to us. How was your weekend, buddy?
Good. It was really relaxed. Didn't do a whole lot. Saw my dad, but how about you? How was your weekend?
Well, Ben, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked me that question on this podcast. So for those of you watching us live, you might notice my shirt, and it's backwards, but it says Paul Simon. And for those of you who don't know, Paul Simon is my favorite, hands down, singer-songwriter of all time. And Shauna surprised the crap out of me and took me up to Boston on Friday night for a very intimate performance from Paul Simon at what's called the Wang Theater, which is in Boston's Chinatown district. Beautiful, beautiful old theater. I mean, you almost felt like you were in Italy. And man, it was Paul Simon at 83 years old.
That's amazing.
And I mean, I was just blown away because he sounded like Paul Simon. It was just like a really raw, pure show. And I'm like, man, the guy at 83 sounds exactly the same.
Wow. Do you have a favorite Paul Simon song?
We've talked about the music thing for so long. And, in my younger bass playing days, when I was introduced to the Graceland album that just had all those unique sounds to it. And it was, I was introduced to Paul's bass player since that album and still was on stage with him on Friday, a guy by the name of Bakiti Kumolo. Bikini's been playing with him since Paul went to South Africa, and wrangled up all those musicians, and many of them stuck with him. But Paul announced on Friday that Bikini is the only surviving member of that era album of what he called the Graceland Band. And but anyway, your question was, what is my favorite song? I think, and hard to say, but I think the Boxer. I think the Boxer is my favorite tune by him.
Cool.
Have to pick that one. But yeah, what a concert it was. He had a full band with him, and he did this sort of interesting. I think people were going to this concert expecting to hear a lot of those tunes. And Paul's just probably at this point in his life where he's 83 and is going to do what he wants to do. So the first thing that he did was he played this 33-minute piece that he wrote. It was almost more like an orchestral type thing, just like one big long, movement or piece in 7 movements. So totally different for a Paul Simon show. And it was just, and the lyrics and the storytelling, the way Paul is, you could really hear this sort of, was almost like listening to a eulogy for himself and his career. It was pretty deep and pretty powerful. And then he took a 15-minute break and came back on, and then he did all the songs that everybody would want to also expect to hear, and kind of went through his catalog. And man, it was like a long show, and he got double encored. And
Wow.
oh, and then of course he closed with A Sound of Silence, just him. And it was
Ooh.
again, it was him. And I was like, I can't believe the guy's 83 years old and sounds better than most musicians do on a bad day, so anyway,
Yeah. That's
good
before
day, I should say.
auto tune and all that stuff. And
Man, it was really cool, man. It definitely, tough thing now is, as I said, said to Sean, I'm like, how do you top this?
yeah.
I don't know. So it was cool. We had a good weekend, spent some quality time with my son, and did some fishing on Sunday. And yeah, so that was that.
Nice.
But
Well,
back to the grind. Yeah,
tell the
go for
people, tell the listeners what's coming up. We got something coming up in July, right? Middle of July.
it. All kinds of stuff coming up, which is probably, you could probably see the dark circles under my eyes and the continued gray that is forming on my face from everything that's going on. All good stuff, by the way, but we're in preparation for our Oklahoma City tribute to the one and only Eric Dalton. And man, it's been a lot of work behind the scenes to put on this big event. And it's gonna be awesome. And I've been thinking about it a lot. It's one of these things where, like, I can't wait to be there and be around all of our colleagues. Ben's going to be there, and so many of our colleagues. And like Ben and I say so much, we're in our treatment rooms all day licking paint. So it's opportunities like this to get together and talk shop and learn. But I also think to myself, man, it's like, I can't wait to be there, but I wish we were there for different reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll be a good
anyway.
time. And you out there listening, if you hear this, there's probably still time to get registered. So you can do that at ericdalton.com.
Oh
Go to
yeah,
his
man.
website, get registered, just show up, hey, just show up and we'll just have a good time.
Yeah, we will have a good time. What's coming up in your world, Ben? You been doing any classes? Any classes coming up for you?
Oh, I'm still trudging through this 10-week photography class that I started a while back. I got a few weeks left of that, and then probably coming up in August, I'll be taking some more continuing ed classes. Because I can't stay away from that for too long. I
Right.
I like the learning.
Yeah, love that. Love that. What's on your radar for upcoming classes that you want to
Oh,
take?
it's a duo, and they are Lynn and Ann Teachworth, and
Yeah.
they are out of Florida, but they also teach some anatomy review cadaver stuff in Colorado. They got a lot of
Ah,
stuff going on. I think their website is called truenamics.com.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
quote me
Cool.
on that, but they've got some really good stuff, real clinical good stuff. I think the class is going to be on low back pain, lower body stuff, I think, is what the class is about.
So cool. Love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Forever, forever, forever students in this field. Love
That's
that.
right. Well, I got another question for you, Nate. Because
I'm
I like to
ready.
ask, we like to ask questions, but this one, well, actually, we're gonna go back to the knock knock jokes. So I'm gonna start us off with knock knock.
It's taken me 3 episodes to get this right. Who's there?
AI.
AI who?
Hey, I can see the future, and you're about to laugh, or stop listening to this podcast.
Is that a Ben Stone original?
Uh, no, and
Oh,
we're gonna get into it. I think
oh, we are
in
gonna
this
get.
episode.
Well, I'm excited, Ben, for tonight's question. And why don't you tell our fine listeners what our question is tonight?
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions that have been coming up on our Facebook page, Ben and Nate's questions. We ask people on the internet, but we asked this one. Sometimes when we don't get a lot of views or traction on the question, we'll ask it again just to get more. Maybe it didn't get the algorithm didn't do it justice or whatnot. But what we asked was, what's the biggest benefit you've experienced from using AI in your business, or what has held you back from trying it? So then that just begs the question. I'm just going to start off with the big one, Nate. What's your experience with AI?
Slow.
Yeah.
Slow, but slowly embracing it, I think, as every day goes on. And you've certainly inspired me and to use it a little bit more. And it's interesting because I read this the other day leading up to this that right, if we think back to, I'll just briefly say like the early days, right? No internet, phone book, yellow pages, newspaper ads, magazine ads, right? And then Facebook sort of started becoming a thing in 2008, 2009, but it probably wasn't until like 14 or 15 that people really started to use it, or probably more like 12, 13, 14 that people started to use it for, you know, getting the word out there and getting their message out there. And then this whole video, YouTube was around and YouTube was like, man, make a 90-second video to get your message out. Then they became 30-second videos. Then I think right now you got about 4 seconds to hold your audience's attention, which is like, holy cow. And people would find your now. And then, so there's so many ways. Let me just sum this up. So many ways for people to find your business. Remember, Google AdWords was a big thing,
Yeah.
right? You had to get your listing on Google and maybe do Google AdWords, and you wanted to be on that massage near me, and Ben Stone's going to come up or Nate Faye is going to come up. And I read the other day, man, how is your business getting recognized on AI? That's how people are going to be looking for your business and to learn about your business and learn about you. And it hit me really, I just read this like 2 days ago, and it hit me pretty hard that, man, we have to embrace this.
Wow. There's so many different ways we could go with this too. That's very interesting because AI basically scrapes all of its information from the internet.
Uh-huh.
So I would think part of it would just be having a good web presence, and not just in one place but several places, because I think that's how Google operates now. Is it's not just having your website, but it's who's talking about your website, how many links to your website are out there from other websites. I mean, all kinds of things that help generate your ranking in Google.
For sure. And is that if you're asking, so I asked AI, ChatGPT,
Yeah.
to tell me about Hazardville Wellness. And just I wanted to see how after reading this, it was like, it's based off of what you're saying and based off of what I read, how accurate is this information describing my business and describing, Nate. So I was pleasantly surprised to see a lot of accuracy there. Right. So anyway, I think if anyone listening to this, first and foremost, ask AI about your business and see what it says about you.
Yeah, I had not thought about using AI. There's so many different ways that AI is coming up, and a lot of people are saying, well, AI is going to take my job. AI is going to take away this. It's going to make it, make certain things obsolete. And there's a certain influencer that I follow on the internets, and he brought up a good point, and he said, when the tractor was invented, all the people out in the field were saying this tractor is going to take our jobs.
Right.
Yes, in a sense it did, but it created other opportunities. So it's the same thing that AI is going to do. It may replace some of the things that people do, but it's going to create other opportunities somewhere else. So it's just this evolution that we're going through. And you can ignore it, and you could say I'm not going to use that. But really, you're going to get left behind. And like you said, how are you going to use AI to help your business? There's so many things that we don't even know what AI can do yet. That's just going to be, it's, if you don't stick with it, you're gonna get left in the dust.
Yeah, and I think about that. I mean, I think about like everything that you just talked about, and I can remember like circa 1980s, and going into like my favorite record store, seeing these the big long boxes that contain CDs, right? And having to buy a CD player. And I remember having to like teach my parents like how to use a CD player. And Blu-ray, fast forward many years later, Blu-ray that lasted probably like a year, and I remember going over my dad's house and teaching him how to use like his Blu-ray player. And I don't want, right, especially our age group, we're in that sort of teetering age group where that can sort of it could pass us by quickly if we don't stay on it. Where, I look at my son and their friends, and so they're basically being born and raised on this stuff. So to them, it's going to come so naturally. And, our generation, our old school generation is going to have to work that much harder. But yeah, absolutely. People get freaked out and they get upset, like the massage robot that our good friend Eric Stevenson, talked about. Everyone's like, oh, that's terrible. And I'm like, but it's not terrible. It's really not. It's not going to replace you. It's not going to take clients off your table. And I love when people ask me about the massage robot, and it's not going to stop anyone from coming to see you. So with that being said, I think anyone in the mid part of their career, the beginnings of their career, I'm with you, Ben. We gotta learn it to embrace it and use it, and it's going to be so many capabilities.
Yeah, I've you brought up a good point about how aging people are a little bit slower to take on new technologies. And I read something about AI and how older people use AI, and basically in general they're using it as more of a advanced Google search.
Mhm.
Like, hey AI, tell me where I can find massage, or tell me where I can go for massage, or something along those lines, basically like a Google search. Whereas the younger kids are using it in a different way, almost like another person, like, hey AI, my boyfriend just broke up with me, what should I do now? Hey AI, I've got an extra $2,500, how should I invest it, or what should I do with this money? So the age groups are using it differently. And there's even classes. I've seen classes pop up at my community college on how to effectively use AI, how to ask it the right questions in order to get the information that you're looking for. Because it's not about just asking it questions, but you have to teach it, hey, I want you to pretend to be a financial advisor, and I want you to advise me on what I should do with this money, that kind of thing. So you're teaching it as it goes, and it learns. And I don't know if you're using the paid version of ChatGPT, or are you just using the free version?
I've been using the free version. I'm about this close to converting, especially after what I read the other day. And then I've got to take some time this weekend, and I'm going to do a little research. And I don't even want to talk about it personally because I don't know a lot of, I don't know enough about it to talk about it yet, but it's called, I believe, VO. Have you heard that VO3?
I have not. Is that part of ChatGPT?
No, it's its own AI platform. And so that's my homework for myself this weekend is to research VO3. And it's more of AI video making, a lot of these reels that you see on Instagram that are now AI generated. So I'm learning that a lot of these people are using a platform called VO, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that could work for me and my business because we'll get into this shortly, but how I've used ChatGPT for my business, which I know you have too.
Yeah, I'm using the paid version, and I'm not 100% for sure the difference between the two, but I do feel like it I've got projects or folders and it remembers more about me, and so I don't have to go through and retrain it
Okay.
as you would in the free version. Um, and the image creation capability of ChatGPT, and I don't think it does video, but it's not the
Yeah.
greatest. So there's so many different versions of AI. Like it's popped up in, the first place I noticed it was Gmail. And Gmail said, "Hey, can I respond to this email for you?" And it popped out like three sentences. I'm like, that's exactly what I was going to say. So it's like, well, yeah, do that. I mean, so AI is popping up in these little ways, and it's saving me because I don't type very fast, you know, emails. So it's saving me what, 2 minutes here and there. AI is popping up in, you see it on websites like, hey, my name is so and so. How can I help you? And the AI is getting really good at being able to almost have a conversation with you and guide you without anyone, without a real person being there.
Right. Right. It's wild. I haven't seen that Gmail add-on yet. I don't know, for some reason I use Gmail, but it hasn't, I don't think it's popped up for me, or I haven't clicked on that yet, but I'll be
Oh, it's
looking.
there. It's
Yeah.
great.
I mean, I like how it already half completes my sentences as I'm typing, and I just tab along because, like you said, it's saying exactly what I'm gonna say. And listen, you said 2 minutes, right? So 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And anyway, as a business owner, my priority 100% across the board is what I'm doing in my treatment room. So my priority is working on bodies because that's where income is being generated. So anything that I have to do outside of my treatment room to reduce 2 minutes, 5 minutes. When I went to automated reminders 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe, so people just get an automated text and email reminder, that saved me 15 minutes a day of phone calls. And let alone it cut down 99.9% of cancellations, reschedules, no shows. Not that I had a lot of those anyway, but it basically the minimal statistic I had wiped all that stuff out. And that 15 minutes a day times 5 days a week, right? So hour and 15 minutes a week as a business owner, right? That hour and 15 minutes a week is like, that's like one more body. And that's another whatever you charge per session. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Or another hour with your family.
Or another hour with your family. They're 15. I don't know. Another body on the table. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's a different thing. But so then, right, there's all these other good pressures that we have. You got to make that Facebook post, man. You gotta do edits on you got to do all this stuff. So that's how I've been using Chat GPT, right? Hey, Chat GPT, can you write a quick little blog about neck pain? And I can post that to my Hazardville Wellness page. Not that people really care about neck pain. It makes you look alive on social media. So it's helping me generate content that I just don't have the brain power to like post all the time. And that's one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that Chat GPT wrote that joke that we started off with. That was purely AI generated.
And I thought
I
it was Ben Stone, man.
I mean, I put in the prompts, right? I started the conversation. And I personally I tend to use I use Chat GPT, or I'm just going to refer to it as AI because it's synonymous. Um, I use it to help me brainstorm a lot. Um, I have talked about how I have this imposter syndrome, and a lot of times I need reassurance, and so I have reassurance through this AI robot that says, "Yeah, Ben, you're doing great. Have you thought about this, this, and this?" And it's just it's kind of cool. But I've also noticed this is one of the downfalls of AI is that its job is to be a yes man. It wants to please you as the person who's inputting the information. So you have to be a little bit careful with the information that you get because it's always going to try to please you. And I've done some prompts to say, hey, find some ways to disagree with me on 50% of what you tell me or something like that, just so that it helps me think a little bit more. It's amazing how much stuff I get into, and the prompts that I read from certain websites, and I design stuff like, hey, help me evaluate my day and see where I can maximize my time, or if there's something that I'm missing. And so it'll sit there. I mean, the hard part is you have to sit there and tell it about your day because it just doesn't know what you do, but it will
Sure.
ask you. And if you use the app, I mean, you just have your phone and you just talk to it like it's a person. Like, it is scary good that it sounds just like a person. And you can just talk to it and say, hey, to start off my day, I get up, I brush my teeth, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it tells you is like, well, based on what you told me, here's where I think that you can maximize your time. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's wild. So about a couple weeks ago, I had a quick little meeting with my financial advisor, and I was like, man, I'm like, let's put some money here. Where should we put some money? Right. And he's like, Tesla. And I'm like, right. I've been thinking about Tesla for a long time. He goes, well, here's the thing. He goes, go on YouTube. And he said, just watch this video, 10 things your Tesla robot can do for you. And he goes, let me know what you think. So I went on YouTube, 10 things your Tesla robot can do. So it's this AI robot, which is going to have a price tag of around $30,000. All right. So $30,000 is a lot of money, but $30,000 in the grand scheme of, you buy a car, you got to buy this, you got to buy that.
Yeah.
So here's what this AI robot, this Tesla robot's going to do for you. It's going to do your laundry, wash, dry, fold your clothes. Okay. I mean that right there. I mean that we have a lot of people. I have 5 people living in my house. That alone right there, that's about 10 hours of my life back. Well, particularly Shauna's life back because she's the laundry guru. Clean your house, be your personal trainer, you know, hey Tesla robot, I want you to work out with me today. Give me a workout today. You got a dog, you train it to learn to play with your dog and watch your dog. And then one thing that I keep hearing from you over and over again on what you're telling me, companionship,
Yeah.
right? Which is going to be like pretty interesting for, there's, let's face it, right? A lot of lonely people out there, man, that don't necessarily have somebody. And that is going to, you know, be part of that.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting. So I'm thinking about that 30 grand price tag. And we're talking about 2 minutes here, 5 minutes here. And I'm like, man, that's about 20 hours of my life back between wash, dry, fold, help me work out. Oh, by the way, help me prepare dinner. Give me a good recipe tonight. And of course, one of the AI technology in it is going to continue to learn you, right? And learn you and learn you and learn you and go from there. And I'm like, 30 grand for that? Hell yeah.
That doesn't seem possible. It reminds me of, do you remember the cartoon The Jetsons?
Of
What
course.
was her name? Rosie? Was she the
Rosie.
she was the robot that did everything? I mean,
That's right.
that's going to be the Tesla robot is what it sounds like.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, because I watch the stock market here and there, Tesla stock went up a little bit because they're getting ready to release the Tesla cab. which is going to be a AI cab driven vehicle.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. I know they've got a lot of those kind of already, but it's not
Yeah,
Tesla
right.
brand.
That's right. I saw them when I was in California last year. I saw those. I saw them driving around, which and a lot of them in training, which was pretty interesting too. So anyway,
Wow.
wild stuff, man. So, but back to the massage world. We also use it for Ben and Nate's questions that we ask people on the internet, don't we?
We do. I use it for brainstorming purposes to help come up with ideas for questions. Not that I don't have ideas, but it helps maybe refine the questions. I'm kind of a somewhat of a perfectionist a little bit. That's a byproduct of being, one of the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Byproduct of the imposter syndrome is perfectionism.
Yeah, you and I last week were brainstorming questions, and then you dumped a bunch of those into AI. It's been, posting these episodes every week. It's helped me with generating titles of these episodes, and of course the summary of the show. So again, it's giving both Ben and I some time back, for all the work and effort that we put in the show, and it gives us 15 minutes back.
That's right. So AI is listening to us talk right now and it gives us a summary of what we talked about. And Nate takes that and uses that to create a description, which I don't know that we had much of a description before we started using AI.
Yeah, we
I think it's fantastic.
love it. I love it. So, what else, Ben? What are some other ways that you're using it for your massage business, or how do you think we're going to be using it for our massage business?
Oh man, I think we're just scratching the surface. I think right now it's helping us with those mundane chores like you talked about, posting on social media, coming up with ideas. But I think at some point the technology is going to be there and it's going to work together where you can just tell it, hey, I need you to post weekly on Monday night at 7 o'clock something about massage related. Do that indefinitely until I tell you to stop. I think things are gonna come out like that, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing because we're just gonna have more. I don't want to call it junk, but kind of more just fluff being put out there. And like you said, it's good to be active on your social media to let people know you're still alive and kicking. But then it just creates a whole bunch of just junk.
It could, Ben, but here's what I foresee. And again, this is just coming out of me now as we're talking. What I foresee is kind of the back to the beginning of this conversation. I think we're still going to be in a small percentage of people using it. I think it's going to take a long time for people to embrace it truly. That's my prediction, and I think it's going to leave a lot of people behind quickly, right? Unfortunately, I think that's going to happen. And so in terms of like the fluff and everything, maybe not. But more interesting is when do we start seeing continuing education classes for the massage world to teach massage therapists how to use this technology? I mean, this could be an 8-hour class in and of itself.
Yeah, and
Write that down, Ben Stone, and steal that
that's
idea, man. That one's for you.
I did just submit not that long ago my ethics class to the NCBTMB to get nationally approved. I haven't heard back on that yet, but hopefully soon you'll be hearing from me as soon as that comes out. But one of my biggest complaints about the massage industry and the continuing education requirements are most states require hands-on learning for a majority of their renewal credits. And you know, learning AI could be one of them. Um, so in this state, we are required to have 16 continuing education credits every 2 years, and I think 8 of those can be lecture or non-hands-on type stuff,
Sure.
which is a fairly generous amount. But I'm all everybody wants to take the hands-on stuff, which I understand. We're a hands-on profession. But what about not just AI, but what about the stuff that's really beneficial to us? So the anatomy, the kinesiology, the pathology, all of the ologies that I call them. No one, no, I don't want to say no one, but it's rare that you get people that are excited to take, anatomy, physiology, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah, it's true. It's true. So, what are people saying? What are some of our listeners saying?
I was trying to find where we had some input, and I know we did, but I cannot find it right now.
That's okay.
It
I got
got
one
lost.
right.
It got lost in the internets.
Did get lost. You know, one person talked about kind of what we alluded to, right? The personalization of it, right? So what's going to be interesting for how we use this technology for our social medias or to work for us for our business is, we still want it to sound like it's coming from you, right? So making sure that it has that, Nate Fay touch or Ben Stone touch or whoever you are. And but yeah, you can, like you said, and like this person says, you can tune it up, so to speak. So the more it gets to know you, the more it knows what to say, and ultimately sounds like it's coming from you. So I don't think
You
that's going to be a problem.
No, and you know how I've been using it is it spits out stuff and I rewrite it to make it sound like it's coming from me. A lot of this is what I've been reading too is, and I see it in what comes out from my prompts, is that the information contains a lot of EM dashes. Are you familiar with those? It's just a dash, but
No.
it's longer, and it's supposed to represent kind of a pause in the sentence. And AI, that's one dead giveaway that AI wrote something, is you see these long dashes in the sentence structure. Nobody
Got it.
writes like that. AI writes like that. And so I've put in a prompt to say, hey, AI, do not use EM dashes. Instead, use commas, use something other than EM dashes.
Cool.
I don't even know
Very
what
cool.
EM stands for now that but I went down that rabbit hole for a little bit.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
my AI and we had to have a chat.
I love it.
Say, no more of this.
What's your AI's name?
I said, hey, what should I call you? And it said, just call me Chat GPT.
Ah,
It didn't want to
interesting.
be, humanized or personalized. I didn't
Wild.
ask why. I didn't ask questions, but I always make sure to say please and thank you, because you never know when the whole, Terminator Skynet thing happens. They're gonna
Right.
come up to me and be like, "Hey, that guy always said his pleases and thank yous. We're gonna take care of him."
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to explore this video thing, and we could probably talk about this next time. And I want, you're good at doing your homework too. So VO, and of course, like I said, I've been seeing a lot of these AI generated Instagram reels lately. Some of them are just, I mean, really fantastic. And the two that intrigue me the most is one of them. It's like AI generated people that were once alive, famous people typically. And it goes through a cycle of all these famous people that are now deceased and almost showing them as they would be now, aged, and like waving and smiling to the camera. And I'm like, oh my God, it just brings all my heroes back to life for a minute, which I think is wild. And the other one, and anyone that knows me is going to think I'm out of my mind when I say this, but I started getting these AI generated videos of like Bible stories. So, and they look like real people, but it's like Bible stories in like a modern day, completely AI generated, and it's like, hey, it's Noah, like holding the cell phone out in front of him. I'm gonna go talk to the Pharaoh right now. Let's see what he has to say. Oh, that didn't go well. Hit like and subscribe so you can see what happens next. And I'm like, man, like this is just gonna potentially be so cool to start making more massage content videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those. The first one I saw was it was a news report, and it was somebody live on scene, and they said, my name is Maria, and I am live at the border between Canada and the United States, where Canadian Army is ready to invade the United States. And this is all pretend because I'm not even real. I'm AI. And then it pans to like, something in this big huge octopus comes out, and it's like I would not have known the difference had they not said anything. I would have not known the difference between AI and, I mean, I couldn't tell. It was amazing.
That's like the scary part too, because if you're not keeping up on it, right? So like you're keeping up on it, and you're probably ahead of most people on this. I still feel like I'm putting my feet in the water with this, but to be able to recognize, because the videos are getting so much better, and the quality of the videos is getting more and more real, that for the average person not keeping up on this, the people are gonna believe it. And of course, this past weekend there was a lot in the world politically, and so I saw a lot of AI generated reels of like, interviewers going to the protests, right, and interviewing protesters. Well, of course, if you didn't know, you would have thought they were completely real. And of course, the interview questions were real. The responses, what gave it away, were absolutely ridiculous. But again, I mean, for the average person, they would have been like, "Oh man, like that's that's happening right now."
Yeah, we're moving into a strange time where, how do you start to police that, and can you even police that? And there's the potential for people to manipulate the masses. I mean, not even saying they probably already haven't been manipulated
Right?
in
Could
some
be
way, shape, or
scary.
form. Yeah,
Could be scary. People using your likeness or your voice to say and do things, and that's the part that's kind of kind of bothersome. So
yeah.
hopefully there could be some sort of regulate. There's got to be some sort of regulations on that stuff at some point, and I don't know if that's even a thought.
Yeah, that's for the internet police
Yeah, for sure.
whenever they get invented.
And Lord knows we have plenty of massage police out there, so
That's
you
right.
gotta watch out for the massage police.
The wee woos. Wee woo, wee woo.
All right,
Yeah.
man. AI.
Yeah, we could talk about this all day, but I think I want to get what's been your big takeaway from what we've talked about so far today.
Well, I love listening to you because I know that you've been deeply immersed into this stuff. So, I mean, certainly your knowledge on the subject compared to mine is way out of my league. So it's interesting to hear the talking about the customization of it. So that's something I'm going to start looking into and probably use a little bit more. And start. I think I'm inspired tonight to start making more time for my chat GPT to save me some more time.
Yeah, it's like a bank account. You've got to invest you got to put money into the account in order to be able to take out that investment later.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. How about you, my friend?
I don't know. I'm like you. I've been curious about this video stuff because it's been popping up and it's so good. I see the one with Bigfoot. He's walking around with a selfie stick. You've probably seen that. Those just crack me up, and they're obviously AI, but the potential, and so you've given me a place to look. What was the name of the thing again? VO,
VO is the one that I'm going to look into, and like I said,
VIO,
VEO
VEO.
3
Okay,
is the one that the Instagrammers seem to be using, and I could be, like I said, I don't want to be. This is new, so I don't want to be too off on this.
sure.
And
Well, it's a
but
place to get
I
started at
think it's
least.
going to be a good place to get started for sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, even the video editing stuff that I use and the audio editing stuff I use has AI built in. I mean, there's so much that's already built in that I don't use yet. Some of it, you have to pay for, so that's a little limiting. But yeah, there's opportunities everywhere to get, and so much stuff that now Chat GPT can help you with. Like, hey, help me refine my goals for my business for the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Sure.
It just, there's so many things that it's helped me clarify.
And the Tesla robot. Start looking into the Tesla robot.
Tesla and Vio. That's two big ones today. So we want to know if you're starting to create AI video, AI text, whatever. Let us know what you use down in the comments. We want to know. Share with us what you've created. I want to see it. I think that would be cool.
Man.
Yeah,
for sure. I even love these AI pictures. Like one of my apps does like these AI, I don't know what they call them, like dreamscape pictures. I don't even ask for this stuff, but they pop up in my, thing every day. And it's like my face, like, and there's Nate like surfing, or there's Nate like, dressed up. And I'm like, man, I look so much better as AI Nate. I would date AI Nate.
That's
Wild.
That's a whole nother episode right there.
It sure is. Hey, my friend, episode 39.
39. Yeah, if you like the show, tell other people about it. Tell them what you like. Tell them, hey, I listen to Ben and Nate's questions that they ask massage therapists on the internet, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the YouTubes.
Yeah.
So share it, because without you guys, we don't have a show. We're not as good of a show.
Not as good of a show. Well, we have a pretty awesome show.
We do have a pretty awesome show.
Answer those questions so we can keep having a show.
That's right. And I am not AI generated. Nate is not AI generated. Maybe in the future you may see an AI generated likeness of us, but I am not currently.
It's a good way, Ben. I'm hoping for another, 50 years on this earth. And but the good news, because of AI, Ben and Nate's podcast is now going to live on forever.
Forever.
See you all next time. That's a
scary thought.
No, it's not.
I love it.
All right. See y'all next time.
Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time on the next one.
The next one.